Today is day 282 of the podcast, and I'm going to talk about a hybrid plant today. A hybrid plant is reproduced by crossing two chosen parent plants and bringing those two chosen ones together. The problem with hybrids, though, is that their seed is sterile, and it does not reproduce true to its parent plant. It has morphed and become a new thing altogether. Though this type of seed was developed to increase agricultural productivity and output and variety, it cannot be reproduced the way plants were designed to reproduce. Now, heirloom seeds, on the other hand, they come down to us from generation after generation of reproduction. You've probably heard of heirloom tomato plants in particular. You can take the seed out of those tomatoes, plant them, and get a tomato plant from it. But a hybrid tomato, you can't take the seeds and get anything. The heirloom seeds, those seeds are open pollinated as well, which means they are pollinated by the wind instead of by human intervention. So this is also a clear picture for us. I'm not just addressing gardening here. I'm dealing with the reproduction and the seed of the gospel going forth. Listen to Matthew 13, starting at verse 24. He presented another parable to them. The kingdom of heaven may be compared to a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while men were sleeping, his enemy came and sowed tares also among the wheat and went away. But when the wheat sprang up and bore grain, then the tares became evident also. And the slaves of the landowner came and said to him, Sir, did you not sow good seed in your field? How then does it have tares? And he said to them, An enemy has done this. And the slaves said to him, Do you want us then to go and gather them up? But he said, No, lest while you're gathering up the tares, you root up the wheat with them. Allow both to grow together until the harvest, and in the time of the harvest I'll say to the reapers, First gather up the tares, bind them in bundles, and burn them up, but gather the wheat into my barn. There is a clear distinction between what God has sown that produces wheat and what the enemy sows that looks like wheat but really is more, it has been made in the image and likeness of the enemy. So when it comes to the gospel, what seed have you received? Did you get a pure seed of the gospel, or did you receive something that was mixture? The gospel plus something else. Mixing the gospel with any other thing, even if it means that it's more readily received, it has now become a hybrid, and it has no ability to be reproducing the true gospel. It won't reproduce true. So here's today's question. Do you recognize any ways that the culture is being mixed with the gospel and planted in the heart of this generation?